Greetings, hello, welcome to a very special presentation. This is TJ Dinser, Senior
Hi,
News
TJ.
Editor for Shacknews.com, and I'm proud to bring to you the Shacknews E4 2025 Indie Showcase. This is a collection of over 20 indie games from developers and publishers around the world, featuring numerous genres in a way that we feel will have a little something for everyone. Whether these games are known or debuting for the first time, everything here has a little something new to show to you today. And to help you along, we've set up a special Steam page that contains all of these games to help you with wishlisting and future library planning. Without further ado, we'll let these indie games take the stage. Please enjoy the Shacknews E4 2025.
I'm doing production things. And I forgot to change things, but I'll enjoy it, I swear. Thank you for the hype train, folks. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is this spoilers for this showcase? Are they spoiling me for their own showcase? I recognize one of my thumbnails in there.
When it comes to the afterlife, we're probably still going to need things like community zoners, planners, and city management to look after things, whether it's up at the pearly gates or down below. Interestingly enough, this game looks at the latter. The Hell, City Builder of the Dead, comes to us from Metro Police, where you'll take over as the newly elected Governor of Hell. You'll take in the damned citizenry, give them shelter, look after their needs, and, try to keep them from getting eaten by demons. If you can.
The Hell, City Builder of the Dead. Slain all demons. Defeat epic titans. Welcome millions of the damned out. The Hell, City Builder of the Dead. You only live twice. Early access, Halloween 2025, 24 October. What? Why did you list it that way? What?
What if you could take building block creations, automate that process a little bit, add some conveyor belts and machinery, and then mass produce them? That's what you'll be doing in Block Factory from Shiro Unlimited and Overpowered Team. This is an automated management programming sim in which you'll take different components of your creations, put them together with conveyor belts and machinery, and eventually create a system which will produce them. You can play along freely, make your own things, or you can try any of the game's numerous challenges.
Which waifu? I don't know. All I seen was Bahunga Dunkaroos. I was looking at it for a long time trying to figure out what it was, and I was like, oh my god, I think that's Bahunga Dunkaroos. And you don't, Drew? You can see almost the entirety of my room here. This is my office. This is where all my things are. My bedroom is barren. Okay, nothing in there is mine. Okay, this is everything I own. This is all I have to my name.
Psychedelic, funkadelic journey like
Look.
nothing you've ever seen. Pariah Interactive brings us a
Hunka-dunkaroo.
gravity-bending 3D platformer in 1000 Deaths, where you play as a color TV
think.
running through surreal, mind-bending worlds, and your choices dictate the levels,
I
gameplay,
think.
and story.
I got a feeling I've been here before. You got decisions there behind that door. So where will you go? Do you know? Do you know where you go? Where will you go? Do you know? Do you know where you go? I gotta make a big decision. Should I say at least to complete this mission? See me on TV, the perfect vision. It's more like this room we sit in.
True, Melon. True. It's like Psychonauts? Did you play a different game than me? Did we play different Psychonauts? "1,000 Deaths." Very Dirg's game.
This indie game from Permanent Way Game Company and Blowfish Studios takes us back to an ancient and fantastical Middle East inspired by the Arabian Nights folktales and Blood of Mehran. We'll play as the legendary warrior Mehran in an open-world hack-and-slash adventure on a journey to save and protect his daughter.
Don't be scared, my friend. Follow me. We ride to freedom.
Welcome to the world of Blood of Mehran. An indie
I think we've seen this in a
hack-and-slash
previous
game
showcase.
that promises an emotional journey with themes of revenge, justice, and loss. Our game is set in the fictional city of Aura, a city based on ancient Middle Eastern cultures. It's a character in its own right. It has adobe buildings, it has towering columns,
Adobe
and
buildings?
intricate murals. We have really tried to create a city that pulsates with life and rich history.
Adobe build? What the fuck is an Adobe building?
Meet Mehran, our complex hero.
Adobe
He seeks
stock
justice
image
after losing
buildings?
His family to cruel villains. His journey is one you will connect
Maybe.
with deeply. Their daughter, Hania, the light of his life, adds urgency and a layer of desperation to his mission. Though she's not physically present, her love drives him forward. Mehran faces formidable foes along the way. Ashath is a cunning rogue whose deception threatens our hero's mission. The king embodies corrupt authority with an insatiable thirst for power that leads to heinous acts against the innocent. You will also encounter other heroes and villains with their own motives, each adding character and depth to the overarching plot of the game.
Adobe is a type of material
Blood of
used
Mehran
for certain
offers
style of
dynamic
buildings.
gameplay that combines intense combat with incredible set
See, I
pieces.
only know it
Players
as this
can
shitty
wield various
company.
Weapons, from the balanced Shamshir to the fast dual swords. Each choice affects Mehran's combat style and is better suited for different enemies and scenarios. The game encourages strategic thinking through
Interesting.
mechanics like perfect parries and several stealth sections, which means that no two encounters feel the same. As mentioned earlier, Mehran gets to wield different
Spanish
weapons
for
throughout
mud
his quest.
brick.
The Shamshir is a flexible weapon that offers a balance of acceptable offense and defense. It's a good choice for standard enemies and encounters. The dual swords are fast and agile. They present an aggressive combat style and
It's
deadly
interesting
combos,
that he
although they
used
may
the
leave
word
you open
Adobe
to
then.
stronger enemy attacks if not used timely and with care. The
Given the
sword and
fact
shield
that
is a more
this
defense-oriented
game is,
choice
as
that
the
allows for
dude
powerful
said, based on
counterattacks.
1001 Nights, which is Middle
The sharp
Eastern.
dynamic between Blood of Mehran's core combat mechanics is one of the most nuanced aspects of
It's
the
Arabian.
game. Achieving a perfect parry through careful
wouldn't
timing
he-
triggers slow motion, which allows you to unleash powerful counterattacks.
Wouldn't
Chaining
it?
combos
Is there a
opens up
different
the
name
enemies
for
to
it there, or
brutal
do
special
they just
attacks
all call
that
it?
are as
Is it
deadly
just called
as they
Adobe
are
everywhere?
eye-catching and visually satisfying. You can also use the environment to hide from enemies or avoid projectiles. Speaking of hiding, there are stealth sections scattered throughout the levels that change the pace and the rhythm of the game. You can perform takedowns during these sections, or
Like, do
choose
they
not
call
to
it
engage with the
Adobe in
enemies at all.
Arabic?
As players progress, they gain experience points to unlock powerful new moves and techniques for Mehran through skill trees. They can upgrade both their weapons and abilities as they progress further through this harsh world. Blood of Mehran follows a linear narrative, but that doesn't mean there's no exploration, as there are diverse rewards like strong armors hidden beyond every nook and cranny.
Like, we say concrete, but I doubt that, like, someone speaking Japanese says concrete, you know what I mean? Like,
diverse set pieces and combat scenarios alongside an emotional story result in a unique and unforgettable experience that will stay with the players long after the credits have
I swear to
finished.
God, I was paying attention to this trailer. I fogged over all of his words because I was too busy thinking about Adobe and that name. And here we are. You know, to tell you the truth, I personally would have faded over on his words anyways.
And cutesy
I'm a
sticker
show don't
art
tell
come
kind of
together
guy when
in
it
this
comes to
game from
trailers.
Ogre Pixel. Castlebound is a roguelike adventure in which you play as one of several heroes in a solo or co-op journey as you guide a moving castle through a fantasy realm. Can you survive long enough to defeat the malevolent evil that's threatening the land?
I don't know. I think it's interesting that he was making a game, or they rather, were making a game about, or rather based on and set in a world inspired by 1001 Nights, or 1000 Nights, it's 1001 Nights, right? And he used a word to describe the material that wouldn't be used by the people inside of the game. I don't know. It's very interesting. Etymology, you know? If Jenny were here, they'd be losing their mind. You know, I have to fill that role a little bit. I had to fill the role of Jenny's absence, where Jenny would be like, actually, they wouldn't say Adobe because, you know, I had to fill that role a little bit, just like an ounce.
That's the case in Causal Loop from Meyerbound Interactive and Head Up Games. Causal Loop is a sci-fi puzzle solver in which you record instances of yourself doing different actions to create sequences that break otherwise impossible puzzles, allowing you to move forward to even greater challenges. Check it out.
Check it out.
Hello everyone, I'm Kai, creative director of Causal Loop, and I want to show you what makes our game tick. At its core, Causal Loop is a first-person puzzle game about outsmarting reality itself.
That's what it looks like when CB runs too. There's stink lines all behind them so that you can always see where they've been.
Recordings of your past actions to solve intricate, time-bending challenges. You start with one echo and unlock up to 3 as the story progresses. But it's not about how many you have, it's about how you use them. Each echo can
very
multitask
Prince of
just
Persia.
Like you. So solving
Right.
puzzles becomes this layered game of timing, positioning, and thinking several steps ahead. It's all about constructing smart, efficient loops of cause and effect with yourself at the center. Echoes are created through phase rifts, and once recorded, they will replay your actions exactly. But it's not just about watching your past selves do something, it's about collaborating with them. And when it all clicks, it feels pretty neat.
There were puzzles in Lost Crown that were exactly this.
Devices left behind by the long-forgotten civilization that once inhabited this planet.
So it's just that one puzzle
teleporters,
made throughout an entire game. I'm here for that.
Bridges,
It's a good puzzle.
anti-gravity lifts, sockets that respond only to the right kind of key, different types of terminals, and many more. These aren't just isolated tools. All of them can interact with each other in surprising ways. It's all part of how we slowly ramp up the complexity and keep pushing your cause and effect thinking to new levels. But Causal Loop isn't just about clever puzzles. It's also about story and discovery. You play as Bale, a stranded explorer on the alien world of Tor.
Curse you,
A
Bale!
long-lost civilization called the Tor. What they left behind isn't just architecture, it's technology that bends the rules of causality itself. Ties Bale to these ancient devices, giving him the ability to fracture reality and create echoes of himself. As an exoarchaeologist, Bale isn't just wandering ruins. He's piecing together the story of the Tor. You'll scan artifacts, decipher ancient glyphs, and slowly uncover what led to the downfall of this mysterious civilization. It's a hands-on way to dive deeper into the world and the secrets it holds. And our story is deeply embedded into every space you traverse. Because we're trying to create a puzzle game with a beating heart. But all that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Puzzle game with a beating heart is just becoming a surgeon.
Ways we didn't even think of. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll have more updates very soon.
Thanks for the follow, Demon Lord. That's the one that got you. You're like, yeah. Man, that surgeon joke he told was so fucking funny. I gotta Thank you for the follow. I stream Thursday through Sunday at 10 p.m. EST. For the entire week, we're watching Oops All Showcases.
When you're
and a little bit of next week too, probably.
In a game of life and death, how far will you go to survive?
Join the Discord to keep up with everything I'm doing everywhere.
Eat the Rich, a socially deceptive party game for 6 to 10 players. You'll play as a mogul.
Run, Drew is holding us captive.
Where you'll interact with other moguls, try to form alliances, try to scrape up fortunes, try to tilt the influence and odds in your favor.
Is that Mina the Howler down there, that little plushie, or maybe not? Maybe not. Maybe it is.
It's a social deception party game.
I hope we see that game.
This July.
Not in this showcase, but at some point.
Billionaires fighting for their lives.
Or in the showcase. I'm okay with it being in the showcase. I just want to see it at some point. I want that game to get a release date.
Fellow billionaires and play cooperatively, but take this time to plan your exit strategy. In true game show fashion, play madcap minigames for precious pennies. Use your hard-earned pennies to purchase advantages, items that impact the elimination rounds. Erase your votes, no matter how many, using amnesty. Silence your opponents and steal their ballots, ensuring the utter breakdown of democracy. And, for a truly corporate-style sabotage, use a scapegoat to flip the script and eliminate someone else when you're on the chopping block. Betray your forged alliances to make sure you still come out on top at the end of it all. Billionaires can freely duke it out among each other to gain the upper hand around the map. At the end of each round, participants vote each other out of the game until only 3 remain. This July, climb the heights of society's sleaziest.
I feel as though my enjoyment of these games is purely decided on what happens when you lose.
In the realm of puzzles,
like,
sometimes there's nothing like
let's say you're the first eliminated, right? Are you just done playing the game? Are you just not allowed to play the game for the next 20 minutes? If yes, then I don't like it. If no, then I'm into it, you know? Because like that's a big reason of why I don't enjoy Lockdown Protocol or Dale and Dawson as much as everyone else that I've played that game with does. I don't like those games as much because when you die, you just aren't allowed to play the game anymore. And even more so with Dale and Dawson, being in the role of the manager and you're like individually voting people off, right? In that role, you are basically pointing at a person and saying, you're not allowed to play the game for the next 30 minutes. And that's just not fun for me. I don't like I don't like doing that to someone else. I don't like having that done to me. It's just like you're not allowed to play anymore. And it's just as simple as that. So it's like, if I think that is like a big advancement that needs to be made in like the social deduction space of like, when the player dies, they have to have something to do. Because at least in like Among Us and Goose Goose Duck, you have the rest of your tasks to do. You know, so like you have something there. I would like more than that even, but there's something there. With Lockdown and Dale and Dawson, it's just like, now you're not allowed to play the game anymore. You're done playing. And I don't like that.
I'm entirely based on that premise with Go North. Go North is an immersive maze adventure in which you'll discover and explore all sorts of interesting, beautiful, and mysterious mazes. You'll unravel their secrets, discover treasures, and maybe even help some other maze travelers along the way. You might even reach the maze god itself and get it to grant you a wish.
Explore a beautiful immersive maze, I think that said. My back, my crack, my pussy, my neck. This has weirdly reminded me that I haven't done the event in Monster Hunter Wilds and I need to. Before it ends, which I think is Tuesday. I'm not sure. Yo, we playing as a short king? A short king queen? A short majesty? What do you gotta read? One. Two. Heat. Go North.
After its success with Sherwood Extreme, Cage Studios returns with its next indie project, Gunstoppable. Gunstoppable is a sci-fi bullet ballet parkour first-person shooter that takes the player from 0 to 60 like whoa. With a gun in each hand, you'll be blazing through enemies, collecting power-ups, and facing off against ever more numerous and dangerous foes in this chaotic shooter. Check it out.
Time bends. I don't.
I told you to be subtle, and you brought a rocket launcher?
Yeah.
I didn't end humanity. I perfected its replacement.
You have one chance to save Earth. Don't waste it.
I won't.
Yeah, so anyways, if you need more voice actors, I'll do it.
Winning The Gardens Between, which was a beautiful and mysterious puzzle narrative adventure. In 2025, they're expanding on that indie darling and bringing it into the world of VR with hidden memories of The Gardens Between. It'll include new interactions, new mysteries, new lore, as we re-explore the stories of Arena and Front in Steam VR and Meta headsets.
The award-winning puzzle adventure. Expanded, rebuilt, now in VR. Yeah, true maker. But if you want more voice actors, I'll do it. I work for free. I'm just trying to build up my resume, dude. I'll deadass do that shit for exposure. No cap. For real, on God. Yeah, that's right, Chad. I'm hip. What can I say? I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm with it. Hidden Memories, The Garden Between. Now in VR.
When the world is drowning in ashes, sometimes you gotta reach deep down inside and pull out your inner magical girl to save it all. Ephemera Games and Whitehorn Games bring us Kernel Hearts, which is a co-op action multiplayer RPG in which you'll eliminate angels, gather your allies, and save the world from utter decay and destruction.
An animated intro that actually matches the game? More rare than you think. But this is one of them. This looks awesome.
Shining meant to lack.
So without even transforming into a magical girl, you're already a badass? You're a badass and then you transform into a magical... Is turning into a magical girl like your limit break or some shit? Is that like your ultimate ability, is transforming into a magical girl?
Metroidvania and puzzle-solving fans, heads up, because we've got a little something for both of you here. Memories Reach comes to us from 100 Stones Interactive. It's a sci-fi Metroidvania puzzle solver in which you explore an alien world full of giant towering megastructures. You'll find keys that open up new paths and discover
I love you, man, but like,
therein.
you're doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you you're doing bad. You're doing a great job. I don't think you need to intro every single game.
I'm Ben from 100 Stones Interactive, and you're looking at my latest game.
I don't think every single game needs an intro. You know what I mean?
Puzzle-based Metroidvania. A game about exploring a strange alien world filled with towering megastructures, arcane puzzles, and lots of hidden secrets. In the game, you play as this freelance space archaeologist, and you've managed to acquire the coordinates to a long-lost alien planet, and have come here in search of this rumored alien treasure of great value. Arriving on the planet, you find the remnants of a civilization wiped out in some great cataclysmic event. And as you explore the world, scanning objects for lore and finding hidden data caches, you'll learn about the civilization that used to live here and slowly figure out what happened to them. And maybe, if you're lucky, find the treasure. And there's heaps more secrets to discover along the way. The game world is one huge interconnected map with lots of optional paths and hidden rooms, and you'll have to hunt down all of them if you want to discover the full story. But of course, the biggest part of the game are the puzzles, and they come in a variety of different formats. The most basic kind are holographic puzzles, which are these one-off logic puzzles that come in a variety of different archetypes, and solving them will generally do something like unlocking a door or revealing a pickup or enabling further progress. Stepping up from that are the environmental puzzles, and these are generally room-sized puzzles that involve manipulating the environment in some way, such as raising and lowering bridges or shifting platforms around and that kind of thing. And on top of that are the level scale meta puzzles, where the whole area functions as one giant puzzle. Each area of the game features one or more of these, and they generally involve learning the layout of the level and coming to a holistic understanding of how the level fits together in order to figure out how to navigate it or manipulate it in a particular way in order to proceed. When you solve a major puzzle like this, you'll often be presented with a new ability, and this could be a new way of moving through the world or a new way of interacting with the world so you can take on new kinds of puzzles. And this is where the Metroidvania aspect of the design comes in. By using these abilities, you can gradually unlock more areas of the map that you couldn't previously access, or solve different puzzles that you didn't previously have the tools to attempt. And so the game world will gradually grow and become more open-ended and more complex as you progress. I've been working on Memories Reach for a few years now, and I just released a new demo in time for Steam Next Fest. It includes a good chunk of the game, including the intro section and the first level, as well as a bunch of secrets, lore, and hidden areas from later in the game. It's out now on Steam, so go check it out, and don't forget to wishlist Memories Reach while you're there.
I'm a show don't tell kind of guy. It does look neat. Looks cool. I vibe. I vibe. I vibe. Give it a taste? Maybe. Oopsie, they made a poopsie. They weren't meant to, that wasn't meant to happen. That's a oopsie. They put a clip in the timeline where it wasn't supposed to go. Memories Reach.
For this indie game, Drakkar Dev and Blowfish Studios take us to a dark fairy tale world with Mirage 7. Mirage 7 is an action-adventure that blends sci-fi and fantastical details as you take on the role of Nadira, who travels the desert in search of a lost oasis that may save her sister's life.
We have a long way ahead. Come with me. We can't cross the desert without water.
Lizard.
It's you again, Nadira. Are you paying me a visit again?
Oh.
You should ask yourself who you are.
Yo, you get to play as the lizard! You can play as the lizard in this game!
Looking for someone else. Wow, Gigi, look. I feel we're getting closer.
Wake up, Nadira.
You can play as the lizard! Give me more lizard gameplay in this
If you're
trailer!
looking for more of a strategy tactics flair, Hypersect has you covered with this next game, Never's End. Never's End is a grid-based fantasy tactical strategy game in which you play as a spirit that can possess various characters and classes to do your bidding, which is real helpful when you're trying to fight off denizens of the undead known as the Never. You'll defend your home, put it together, build it up, and fight each night as new and more powerful waves of the undead try to swarm you and destroy you.
Umbreon? To save those who remain, you must be fearless. Relentless. Deathless. Maidenless. Wield power over nature. Wow, heat. possess your party. Reclaim your world. And ready yourself for the coming darkness. The darkness is doing what? For each night, the never rises again. Yeah, it seems cool. Never ends. Oh, sorry, never's end.
I spy, with my little eye, a bunch of furballs in need of a hero. And that's what we're getting as DevCats returns with their latest hidden object Metroidvania game, A Planet Full of Cats. This time set in a sci-fi environment,
way too loud.
We'll be tracking down these furballs in all sorts of chaotic situations set on alien worlds, space stations, scientific facilities. We'll even be using special abilities to try to track them like X-ray vision. Check it out.
Check it out. Hidden object plus Metroidvania. An interesting combo. The cats are being infected! The whole planet is! Find the cure! A planet full of cats. It's a cool game. They have cats. Making perfect games.
Asteroids are incoming. Aliens are attacking. Man the helm. Grab that gun. Put out that fire. But don't try to do all that stuff alone. Grab a few friends. And join up for Soulmates from Daruma Games. This is a sci-fi action party game in which you will take on the role with 1 to 4 players of piloting a ship through the galaxy, trying to save lives, trying to complete missions, and trying to survive by any means necessary.
Hi, Biden. A co-op, a roguelike co-op adventure. Reminds me, and I feel like I reference this game all the fucking time, and nobody knows the game that I'm talking about. Nobody played this fucking game, including me, but it's a game that has stored itself into my memory and I can never fucking forget. This now reminds me of a Lovers in a Space-Time. Nobody knows this fucking video game except for me, but I reference it all the fucking time! I reference it all the fucking time, you know! I played it before, it's only you and me know this game! It also reminds me of a game that more people know. Oh shit. Soulmates.
At this point, we've
Guns
spent
of Icarus.
several years spraying and blasting dirt, mud,
Loved
and
Guns of
debris off
Icarus.
patio
Loved Guns of
furniture,
Icarus.
playground equipment, park facilities, and what have you. But what if we could take these same
No,
dingy
Melon.
places and
But
more
thank
and
you.
add some color to
I'm
them
not on
instead?
stage.
That's what North Star Video Games and Whitehorn Games put forth in Spray Paint Simulator. This is a game where you take on the role of adding color to the locations you visit. Whether you do it alone or with friends, you'll access all sorts of equipment that allows you to paint in big, broad strokes, covering entire walls in no time, or doing very delicate small touches. Whatever the case, you'll continue until the job is done and the location is beautiful.
Bean. Good night, Vic. Love you. Mwah. Whoa. That game, not usually into simulators.
F-Zero
That game looks
fans,
awesome.
Pay attention.
And it's on Game Pass.
Start your
Might give that a
engines.
try.
After several years in
Where did Tuck
development,
go? That's a great
Whatnot
question.
Games is finally ready to launch Star Racer into its 1.0 release. For those who
there's
don't
Tuck.
know, Star Racer is a very F-Zero-like racing game that has been in early access for quite some time. The game is now ready to hit 1.0 with 16 full tracks, 4 Grand Prix, Steam integration, and a track.
Did Twitch remove the
and
emote?
plenty of more content.
I will check a look later. No, that doesn't count. I also played The Blob on Xbox. Great game. Classic. Now, I don't think I ever played the sequel. But I did play the OG when I was a small bab. Good game. I remember.
When the Sultan calls on you to play his game, will you shy away, or will you take the challenge and put your life on the line? This game comes to us from 2P Games and Double Cross. Sultan's game is a political strategy game in which you must take a card from the Sultan and complete its challenge within 7 days. That sometimes has you interacting with the Sultan's courts, including politicians, merchants, and even the House of Pleasure. Now hear from the developers on how the narrative of such a racy and chaotic sequence comes together.
This is a game where your life is at stake.
That's the Sultan? That's the
7
bloodshed?
days to break this card or face death.
We're 3 seconds into this trailer and it's horn dogged up.
Squander fortunes, embrace the cold, even toy with others' lives. You fancy yourself master of mortal fate, yet never forget the blade above your neck descends closer with each dawn.
New content. A lot of 1001 Nights, huh? This is like the 4th game that has like referenced it in some way, or is based on it
Sultan really
in
is
some
a great
way.
story. When Munan first wrote it, he was very worried. He kept complaining to me, "Can I even write this? This is too much." Then after 2 months later, that moment came. I wrote a spinning brass XX story. Starting from that point, with the team's collaboration, the story of Sultan was born. I told the planners, "You are the first in game history to decide that for the level design, we need parties. Be proud." We players say that we're just tricking perverts into joining the army. Later, when I was writing, I began to feel a lot of pressure if the content didn't have heavy enough of a story to support it. Writing would feel completely flavorless, and there's this thought that I had that what people love the most isn't just pure If what people loved was just pure then porn games would definitely be the best-selling games, and it's obviously not the case. I think the whole development team, if you told them beforehand, they might not have agreed to it. Honestly, none of us ever imagined we'd reach this step. We needed to draw a staff of life, and that we had to convince ourselves not to imagine how the artist would find references. I sent them lots of weird reference materials. It had to look like that thing, but not be that thing. The thing we struggled over was that I told the artist that this thing need to be filled with blue ether, according to teacher Munan's description. It's full of it, and there's a faint electric current on it, so it gives off a slightly mechanical feel. But it shouldn't feel too cold or too stiff. It needs to give people a sense that it's something alive. This was probably the hardest piece of communication for the whole game. But after that, since we even managed to communicate that, things were fine. We discussed things in a very academic fashion. Let me give a very simple example. In the game, you can directly compete with the House of Pleasure. Then our colleague forgot to properly block the content. So one of the who works the by day and also works for you by night, she was so busy. Something like that. And our planner asked about it, if it is okay for a to work in 2 fools. I said, what kind of devilish question is that?
So the game looked so horny in the first 3 seconds because it is.
An automatic absorption kind of operating model. Sometimes it ends up strangely realistic, inexplicably so. Anyway, since the project started in December 2023, the entire development went very smoothly. It was completed almost without any rework before the funds ran out. It was practically...
Play it? I don't think I'm allowed. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to be showing this.
I don't want to lecture players in the game. I don't want to preach anything. Some people think killing certain characters doesn't matter, and everyone's view on who it's okay to kill are totally different and wildly varied. When you choose...
Like, the lady that they just showed was like, she had henna all over her body. I think that's what it's called. But like, she was still topless. Like, it was showing, but like, it was all like tattooed up. So like, I don't think it, like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know.
Seen hell and not feel a trace of mercy, not a trace of fear, not even a trace of disgust, then go. Then walk into the abyss.
The doll is monetized blocked. See that? If they put a little thing there so that...
Would I believe it?
There's no nipple. Oh, there was.
Do you ever get so frustrated you want to flip something? Anything? Everything? Well then, Yummy Yummy Tummy and PM Studios know how you feel and want to help you realize that feeling with Table Flip Simulator. This is literally a game that is what it is. You go to locations and flip everything that you can get your mitts on. You'll work as a barista and flip cappuccinos, milks, espresso machines, and all sorts of things.
I mean, it's whatever, guys. Just don't snitch. Don't be a fucking snitch. I don't know. Like, fucking, I don't know.
Causing chaos left and right. The world is yours to flip.
I didn't say that I have the glasses on it because she was all like hennaed up. She was all hennaed up. It sounds like the version of this song in Trombone Champ. Table Flip Simulator.
Tabletop gaming is cool. Board games and card games are cool. Painting miniatures and playing games with friends is awesome. And what if you could own the shop that does that stuff? That's what Night Fever Games wants to give us with Tabletop Game Shop Simulator. It is a game in which you run
This is apparently the simulator
show,
guys.
That includes setting prices, buying merchandise, buying miniatures, painting miniatures, and even hosting game nights to try to become the go-to hub of tabletop gaming.
This is Tabletop Store Simulator. The last one was Table Flip Simulator. Please play this one. As a previous retail store employee, this would activate my trauma as I've experienced with Supermarket Simulator. And also, I'd be bored. It'd be a little bit of both. Oh yeah, there's loads of these types of games. They're popping off. If you make a decent one, it seems like a cash cow. You know, like it seems like you make one decent simulator game, which doesn't seem to require that big of a budget because it's mostly like used assets.
Cyberpunk dystopian world controlled by corporations. We'll establish.
It's like already created assets. You make one good one of these, and then you're like set. You know,
holds the world down.
Whatever game you want to make next, you got it.
RPG.
Yeah, it's like asset flip. Yeah. Also, yeah, I do think that the board games might have been AI art. Maybe. Or maybe it was, again, just assets. Twilight Wars. I tried to get a job at a board game shop, but they told me it was a family business and they weren't hiring. I was like, oh.
Take us to the depths of ancient
Made me
Scandinavia.
very sad. I wanted that job real bad.
Mythological folklore with vessels of decay.
And then I worked at a Dollar General where all my trauma is
As
sourced.
they
Not all
journey
my
through
trauma, but a
world
lot of
that's
it.
been taken over by ancient monsters and mythology and battle it out against these horrible forces, fighting to survive together.
Should've just married into the family. You're so right. Man. Oh, be monkey. Ooga, ooga, aga, ooga. Chicken. Vessels of decay.
That's been the Shacknews E4 2025 Indie.
You said it, check it off, check it
Thank you
off.
all for watching. We hope that you saw at least one thing in here that caught your fancy.
I did. I saw
So,
three
be sure
things.
to head
Colonel
over to
Heart,
our
Seven
Steam
Mirage,
page,
and
head over to that games
Soulmates.
page and wishlist it, because it helps those folks out a lot. And just as well, we'd like to thank the developers, publishers, and even PR that helped make this thing happen, including Pariah Interactive, Shiro Unlimited, Blowfish Studios, Permanent Way Games Company, Ogre Pixel, Head Up Games, Mirebound Interactive, Makima Games, Monstronauts, Gazoon-Type, Cage Studios, Metro Police, The Voxel Agents, Whitehorn Games, Ephemera Games, 100 Stones Interactive, Drakkar Dev, Hypersect, DevCats, Daruma Games, North Star Video Games, Whatnot Games, Double Cross, 2P Games, PM Studios, Yummy Yummy Tummy, Night Fever Games, Comrade Bear Games, and Aurora Punks, and Stride PR, Uber Strategist, 50cc, and Vicarious PR. This might be a long list of names, but it contains so many more names within that, because these are the people that make games and bring them to you. These things don't just happen. It takes a lot of people to bring this stuff together, and we couldn't thank them enough for helping make this happen, for bringing these games together, and for helping us to bring them to you. Thank you. And thank you to the viewers for checking out this showcase. We appreciate you, and we hope that you stay tuned for more Shacknews E4 coverage as it comes your way. Thank you for watching. This has been TJ Denzer, Senior News Editor for Shacknews. Take care, y'all.
Thanks, DJ. I think this showcase was fine.
Thanks, TJ. And thank you to all the talented game developers and PR folks who helped make our Shacknews E4 Indie Showcase possible. You know, Shacknews, we kind of consider ourselves indie devs too. We've released a series of products in the last 5 years, starting with the gamification of the website, Shacknews Cortex, then Shack Pets, which is a gamified social media platform only for pet pictures, where you can vote for who's the cutest pet of the day, onto our first game, which is a web-based, browser-based game called Bubbletron, which is like kind of like a sarcastic stock market almanac slot machine game that resets daily, kind of in the style of Wordle. And then, we just launched our new Shack Maps interactive video game map portal. So we're doing a lot of stuff on the dev side here, and today was provided to these devs for free. If you like what we're doing and you want to support this, please consider trying out any of those projects. And then also, let's just say we have something else in store that we think will help indies sell more games in the future. So stay tuned for that. And thank you. Have a great E4 and a summer of doing our jobs, which is kicking off right now.
Okay, that was Shacknews. I feel like this showcase was fine. Not that many caught my eye. Not many made its way onto my wish list. I hope many did to yours. Again, I said it before. Oh, there's the channel that I was talking about earlier. Oh, my mouse is on the wrong computer, though. What's this channel? Carbot Animations. That's what I was talking about in like a showcase ago. Anyways, I don't think you need to intro every single trailer like that. Maybe this is like very self thing. I am very much a show don't tell kind of person when it comes to trailers. I think you can tell a little bit. You can talk about stuff a little bit, don't get me wrong, but like you don't need to intro every single trailer in the showcase and tell me what the game is before you show me the game. Just show me the game. Like, I don't know. Like a few times here or there to break up the pacing, like that's fine, but not every single one. Especially if like the trailer is a little cryptic. Like if you watch the trailer as the creator of this thing, as the producer of this thing, if you watch the trailer that the dev sends you and you're like, oh, I can't really tell what this game is, then maybe give like an intro to it to, again, also break up the pacing. But like, again, not every single one. You don't need to intro every single game. This showcase was an hour long. I feel like by removing those intros, it could have been like, give or take 40, you know, maybe a little bit closer to 30, somewhere in that range. And I think it would have been better off for it. But yeah, that was the Shacknews E4 Indie Showcase.